Alrighty, good morning. So, after a very early start, our pickup was at 4:50 this morning. So we got up about 4 a.m. for our Uber to take us over to the airport here in Johannesburg, and we are here. Had a little fun with our bags. If you remember the binoculars situation, we put those in our checked bags, and we're expecting our checked bag to be checked all the way from here back to the States, bypassing us having to retrieve them in Ethiopia. The gentleman at first was checking our bags to Ethiopia and had mentioned, hey, you might need to retrieve your bags there. We were not very excited about that, but he kept looking and working through and eventually got our bags checked all the way to the US, so we don't have to touch those again. So we just have our carry-on stuff, and we will hopefully get a voucher to be in a hotel room in Addis Ababa for the 10-hour layover that we have there, and then continue our flight just after midnight. So potentially going to be a fairly long day, but anxious to get home, anxious to get back to it. So more to come. It's now about 6:18. We'll be here for maybe about an hour and 15 minutes before we make our way over to the gate for our 8:20 flight over to Addis. See ya. So I mentioned that we were in the lounge here, and there were several lounges apparently, but the one that South Africa is affiliated with is this one. I'll give you a quick kind of overview of what we're looking at here. Fairly large lounge where we chose to sit. We're looking out of the window. You can see aircraft going by and so on. They have a big food spread. Well, they have a bar. It's 6:25 in the morning, so we're not going to visit there. And then over there, we have a ton of food options. I just had some eggs and whatever this thing was. What do you call these things again? Danish. There we go. So, just pretty cool. This is the lounge, which is, I guess, several different airlines and so on are using. And they are, it's a pretty nice lounge. Very, very cool. So, more to come. Alrighty, so after a little brief time in the lounge, we are on our plane, sitting here waiting to take off in about 25-30 minutes. Early, to get everybody on the plane. We had a little different experience getting on this plane. There was kind of this mass rush when they opened the gates, and we're not accustomed to that. Normally it's either zone 1 or zone 2, or people who need extra assistance or whatever. But we got through it fairly uneventfully, and we're in our seats waiting for boarding to finish so we can pull back and head over to Addis Ababa and see how that goes. Alright, it's 8:22. We've pushed back from our gate, and I guess we'll soon be taxiing towards takeoff. Our listed departure time was 8:25, so right on time. Pushed back a little early, which is nice. So we should be off and running here soon. So we're at the end of our runway here. There's the roar of the engines. Johannesburg. Alrighty, so after a much needed nap, after getting up so early this morning, and then very tasty salmon lunch, I guess. We've just been told that we're beginning our descent in a few minutes into Addis Ababa, and that will commence the next phase. We're hoping to get a transition room, hotel room we can have, because we're going to be in Ethiopia for about 10 hours before our next flight, which leaves just after midnight. So just get ready to deal with this and see what happens next as we continue to make our way home. We are safely in Addis Ababa. So with this flight, we did not come off on a jetway. We actually came down some stairs, and then we're loaded onto these buses. I guess that will take us over to the terminal. Plane we just came off of. So we're off to see what happens next. Alright, so we are in the terminal. Bus brought us right over, so now we've been directed to customer service to request our hotel voucher, which I didn't get via the email like they said. And we'll hopefully be hanging out in the hotel shortly here until our flight takes off after midnight. Alrighty, so we're in a lounge here, business class lounge for Ethiopian. We tried to get a hotel room because Ethiopian, the thing we took advantage of when we came here the first time was if you were connecting through, arriving on Ethiopian, leaving on Ethiopian, but your connection was longer, it was between 8 and 24 hours, you could get put into this hotel that they have here that I showed before. However, I had read some conflicting information that the arrival into and departure out of needed to be on the same ticket. Coming in, we got a voucher and we got the hotel staying, even though we were coming in on one ticket and departing on another ticket. So we tried to try our luck again here coming in, but the lady at the customer service desk told us, she said, no, it only works if you are coming in and leaving on the same ticket. So I guess we stuck through last time or something. But just a piece of information to know for anybody who might be trying to do the layover through the long layover through Ethiopia, and to make sure that your inbound and your outbound are on the same ticket. But so we're in the lounge. We're going to be hanging here for the next 8 hours or so. I guess they'll feed us at some point. Maybe they'll turn the air up because it's still a little warm in here after the nice temperatures that we had in Cape Town. But it is what it is. Our next flight takes us from here to Frankfurt, Germany. We're there for a few hours and then back to the good old US of A. So that's where we are. See ya. Just realized I didn't show the lounge that we're in. And this is a massive lounge. This is just one small portion of it. There's a area for smoking and prayer room and another food thing and showers and all kinds of stuff. But this is the area we are sitting in here, which is, we can look out the window and see the city over there. And we have, not very crowded, obviously, but this is, it's pretty big. So at least we were relaxing. Pretty comfortable situation until it's time for us to jump on the next one. So after being here for a while, we said, let's go get something to eat over at this big spread that we have. I ran to the bathroom. By the time I came back, they were cleaning up the spread. I guess getting ready to change over from lunch to dinner. So we had to quickly grab a few things. So I had seen, not quite sure, this right here, and if I'm pronouncing it correctly, they call it enduro. It's a kind of a, I don't know, like a tortilla shell or something. You rip a bread of some kind and then you dip into the meat. I got some Thai shrimp curry here. My wife got some lamb chops, so on. They were very nice and gave us what we wanted as they were beginning to clear things out. And they'll chow into this and see what this tastes like. Alrighty, so I had my, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, enduro, and it is, to my taste buds, tasteless. It has no taste. The Thai curry shrimp was pretty tasty, and I used the enduro, again if I'm pronouncing it right, to dip and eat that. A filling enough meal and so on, but not anything that I was very excited about. And as I told my wife, I don't expect to ever have this again. But it is what it is. I tried it. Alrighty. Alright, it is now about 7 p.m. Our flight doesn't take off till midnight, so we are still in the lounge. They're beginning to put out dinner and stuff, although we ate lunch kind of late. So, but I was looking out here over the windows, and it's pretty cool. Oops, press the wrong button. It's a pretty cool view of the city. Let me turn around here and show you that. So we're looking out here. The lights have started to come on. So I still have these twinkling lights. I'm not sure what looks like little fireworks down there. But the city's lighting up as we get into the evening here. Now, when we were out in Cape Town, it didn't get dark till 8:15, maybe 8:30. But here it is now 7, and it's dark there and so on. But yeah, so still kind of hanging out in the lounge. All right, so slowly but surely we've noticed over the last maybe hour or so, as we're still sitting in the lounge here, that the virtually empty lounge when we got here 3 hours, 5 hours ago, or a long time ago, 3 something, it's now 8 something, has filled up. So very, very active lounge, and we're looking at these upcoming departures between like 10 and midnight. There are a ton of departures going all over the place. Cairo, Washington DC, Newark, New Jersey, Dubai, Rome, all kinds of things. But this is what the lounge looks like now. It's just filled up with tons of folks waiting for their flights. So we found that kind of interesting. There's a lot of folks in here now. Yep. Fun. All right, it's almost time for us to head over to get on our second to last plane. We've been sitting in the lounge here since just after 3. It is now 11:15. The crowd is still here. Different people have begun to dissipate. I guess the different flights are taking off and so on. The lounge we're in, we believe, is right opposite 813, and our flight is taking off from 812. So we'll leave here in a few minutes, head over there. Hopefully get on the plane pretty quickly. And yeah, it is my intent to, shortly after takeoff, stretch out the seat and turn around and get some shut-eye. But we'll see how that goes. But we're making progress. Next stop, Germany. Never been to Germany before. Then we're there for 5 hours, I think. And then our final slot from Germany back over to the US. So slowly, but surely, making our way home. See ya. Alright, so left the lounge, sat on a bus for quite some time. The bus brought us out to our aircraft, which was way on the other side of the airport. Then we came up the stairs, no jetway here, and got into our seats here in business class. Very spoiling, lots of space and so on, but we're here. So my plan is to pretty much after takeoff try and get some shut-eye. It is now 12:26 a.m. and we are off on part 1 of 2, getting us back home. And we're off. Head down the runway. Fails to impress me what man is able to come up with to just get all of this tons of metal and people and all kinds of stuff up into the air. But there we are again, flying up in the air and on our way to Frankfurt. This journey is supposed to take about 7 hours, they said, so we'll be flying for a while, and I anticipate some sleeping during this time. See ya. Good morning. Alright, so after a good night's good on an airplane night's sleep, for me split into 2 pieces, it is now about 6 o'clock in the morning. We should be pulling into Frankfurt, I guess within the hour, and then hanging out there for a bit before we take our final leg back over to the US. Not bad. I could really get accustomed to this lay flat seat stuff. Stretch the seat out all the way, it was completely flat. I was able to get some sleep. My wife says she didn't even she wasn't able to really relax and get any good sleep. It's kind of off, on. So hopefully she'll have better luck on the next flight, because the next flight I think is the longest flight in this journey. It's like 9+ hours. This flight was about 7. But we continue to steadily work our way back towards the US. See ya. And just like that, we are in Frankfurt, Germany. I don't believe I've ever been on German soil before. Alrighty, so after walking about 4.5 miles from the airplane over here, and we're not quite at our gate for our next plane yet. We have arrived in Terminal Z and waiting boarding for our next flight. It is currently 6:47. Our flight is at 11:30. So we're going to mosey on over to see if we can get into the lounge here. We're not 100% sure. It's a Lufthansa lounge and so on, but we can't go into it before 3 hours before our flight, so we can't head over there until about 8:30. So just kind of hang out for a little bit and then head over and see if we can relax in the lounge for a bit before we get on our last flight heading back to the US. So this airport, it just seems like every airport we go to is more ginormous than the last one. We were walking for a while to get here. A couple of escalators, but a lot of just foot traffic from point A to point B. And we had to take a train, which was very reminiscent of Atlanta's Hartsfield, I guess between terminals there. But yeah, we're here, relaxing, and we'll pick up again soon. Bye. Alright, so it is now about 8:10. It's finally started to get bright outside. Let's take a look over there out the window. Until a few minutes ago, it was still dark outside. It's after 8 o'clock. So they have a different time. It's sunrises over here. We looked and said sunrise is right around now, 8:10. But starting to get lighter. We still have another 3 hours plus before our flight. So we've just been kind of sitting at one of the boarding areas for some random flight. And we're going to move on over, see if we can get into the Lufthansa lounge, which I think we should be able to get into with our United business class boarding passes, but we'll see how that goes. And then just kill time until it's time to get on our flight to the US. This flight is the only flight that we have that has been on a US based carrier. When we left New York, we were on Ethiopian Airlines, and between Ghana, South Africa, Addis Ababa, and so on, we were on either Ethiopian or South African Airlines. This last segment of the 9 flight segments that we're doing, this last one is on United. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We've been exposed to the business class for Ethiopian and South African. Now we get to see what United has to offer. All right, see you later. So we've popped over to the lounge, entered without issue, and we'll be hanging here until it's time to move over to our boarding. So another massive lounge. Nice view here of kind of a taxiway, seeing some airplanes outside. This is Lufthansa territory. And then we've got, a whole, it's huge. Huge. So, chow down on a little breakfast and just kill some time. And here we have my wife giving the weather report as to the fact that it is cloudy in Frankfurt. And I checked and looked over my shoulder, and she is in fact correct. It is cloudy.
And here's my
and
husband
30
bored
degrees.
and doing goofy things with his equipment.
Right. Correct. So we're getting settled into United Polaris business class. There's a lot of stuff here, pillows and blankets and stuff. But this is what it looks like.
Welcome aboard. We're happy you're flying with us today. As you find your seats, place your larger bags in the overhead bin, wheels first. Please keep your smaller items and jackets with you until we've found space for the large.
All right, so we're in our seats, getting ready to push back here shortly. It's 11:30. We are in United Polaris, which I have not.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the captain. My name is Chris McKenna. I'd like to add my.
All right, Captain just gave us an announcement. All right, so Captain just gave us an announcement. It is now 11:32. We're going to be flight time a little under 9 hours, 8 hours 42 minutes or something like that. Over 3,000 nautical miles over to Dulles outside of Washington D.C., which is our final destination. So we should be pushing back here shortly, and look forward to seeing what United Polaris is all about. And we should be off soon. So we've been taxiing for a while. It is now 12 o'clock. We're still now taxiing out to get in a position to take off. But we should be on our way shortly. Alright, so we're beginning our roll. Here we go. Started meal service. Give her a little appetizer, some prawns, which was quite tasty, a nice salad. But the main meal has come, and I've got the grilled salmon. And before I hadn't even tried the salmon yet, but it came with some potatoes, and the potatoes are very, very tasty. Had a nice roll. The salad was good. The prawns were excellent. I'm hoping that the salmon lives up to everything else so far, because the meal has been very, very tasty. Alrighty, so after a pretty full meal, I guess lunch earlier, and then a bit of a nap. I was sleeping for a couple hours, I guess. Kind of woke up and looked at the little timer thing, app on the phone. It says we should be landing in just under 4 hours. So this is a long flight, it's 9 hours almost, and we're still kind of hurtling towards the US. So put on some headphones here in a minute, listen to some more music, and just kind of relax. Maybe probably take another nap if I can fall back to sleep, and get ready for arrival in DC and getting back to normal. So that's where we are. Alrighty, so we're about an hour and 15 minutes out from landing. We're getting our pre-landing meal now. But yeah, we should be on the ground shortly. I've tried to do the messaging Wi-Fi thing, but can't get it to do successfully. So we'll just wait till we're on the ground. My best buddy is picking us up and going to take us halfway home, and then our daughter will pick us up and take us the rest of the way. But we are almost there, and all of the stuff that we have to do, getting back home, mail to go through, and bills to pay, and all that kind of wonderful stuff. But actually looking forward to just being back in my normal environment, and then going over all of the wonderful footage and pictures, and kind of sorting through all the memories that the last 3 weeks have given to us. It's going to be absolutely awesome, and will stay with us for the rest of our lives, I'm sure. Just fantastic. See ya. Alright, so after blasting through our last meal, because I think they got started a little late, we should be landing in about another 35 minutes or so. It's now 8:04. Well, I'm on German time. In the DC area, it's about 5 after 2 p.m. We're scheduled to arrive around 2:40. So we should be on the ground soon, and that'll be the official end of the trek. Wow, great time had. Lots of more stuff to come about the fun that we had, the educational experience, etc. See you soon. Alright, and like that, we are back on U.S. soil. Just touched down, and taxiing our way over to the terminal.
We'd like to be the first to
There
welcome
we
you
go.
to Washington Dulles International
Now
Airport.
the memories
The
begin.
local time is 2:40.